Okay. Well, I must have lost my intro. Hold on a second. Oh boy. Gonna have to go find that one. I know you guys can probably hear me right now, but I have to go find my... It sort of disappeared. And... I don't think that's it. It's really quiet. It's really quiet. Yep. Shit. Well, I guess I can't find the intro at this point. My normal intro. So, basically, if you can't handle true crime, don't watch it. Okay? That's what my intro says. Alright? But I'm going to have to go... I think I deleted the intro a few minutes ago. Unfortunately. Oh wait, that might be it. Hold on. No, that's not it. This is weird. Something just like disappeared off of my... Oh wait, maybe that's it. There we go.
This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further.
Oh, I gotta fix... Shit. It's kind of a weird, awkward size. I don't know what's going on there. Interesting. See how it doesn't really take up the whole screen? I'll have to figure that out another time. But anyways, here I am, everybody. Hey, what do you guys think of this little, I made this 3D penny, and then I have it spinning right there. It's pretty cool, huh? I mean, it looks like a real penny. I was just using it to test out this. It's pretty sweet. You can render out a video with transparency already in it. And so now that opens the door for me to be able to put a whole bunch of other stuff on there. You know, I could have stuff moving around just to piss off the people who say, oh my god, there's too much stuff going on, I can't watch it. Alright? So there you go. Yeah, so I got an image of a front of a penny and the back of a penny, made a cylinder, got the measurements for a penny, and then put the texture on the front and back, then made a movie of it rotating around, one frame short of a full rotation. And then I have it looping here, so then it continues on with the first one. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, thank you to It Was Not. Yeah, it was. It was. You know it was. Just barely.
Snake SMH.
I wouldn't have called
2021 timber is flammable.
Wow, that was a whole different voice. How did I get a different voice right there? Did you guys hear that? Man, there's a lot of weird shit going on YouTube right now. And thank you, Cairo, Catalina Revival, Linda Howell, Michelle Nicholas earlier. Yeah, the thing is about the game, it was, you know, the Timbers, in the first half, the Philadelphia Union, they got a penalty kick that was totally bogus, but they missed it. So it was the whole scenario about ball don't lie, right? It was perfect. So They missed the penalty kick, and then we got up 2-0 with like in the 84th minute. Basically, we were still up 2-0, and then they scored a goal, a decent goal. Then they were offside just barely, and but prior to that, the Timbers had like 5 absolute easy goals that they just missed. Like they shot it right into the chest of the goalie. It was ridiculous. So there you go. It was pretty close though. That, you know, that offsides. It's amazing the referee actually could see something like that. It was just so, it was by maybe 5 inches or something. I'm not really a big fan of offsides in general. I think it's kind of stupid, you know. Hold on, let me. But anyways, Timbers did win. And there's the music that I forgot to put on because of my intro malfunction there. Yeah, and I put some duct tape on the Chloe cam. Blue might sneak in there later too. Who knows? Oh, that's weird. It almost looks like that's her nose looking north, but that isn't. That's not her nose. It's funny. Yeah, so I can see Carolina T, but I can't see, for some reason, I know that somebody blocked, I don't know if it was accidental or not, but, hold on. Shit. Yeah, I can't see Linda's House of Chill. But you guys can all see her, so she's not blocked. I'm just saying I can't see her. So, I don't know how to fix that. She's not, obviously, if she was blocked, you guys couldn't read her comments, but somebody blocked her, I unblocked her,
Thank
and
you
I can't
for covering
see
cold cases,
her.
raising hands, light skin tone.
What's going on with that voice? I didn't change it to that. Thanks, Samara S. and Lisa Bevan. You know, I can put this, let me see what happens if I put this on top of my, in front of my face. There you go. Well, maybe not. Thanks, Lisa Bevan.
Greyer Ways goes above and beyond for all victims. Thank you and loving light to everyone. XXX.
I don't know what's going on, Streamlabs. You can't just switch up a voice on me, can you? Yeah, that's what it was going to be for, like a penny for your thoughts. Yeah, that's what I was going to use it for. I don't know who the hell what voice that is. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so Julie Rule sent me some of these stories. She always sends me like a million different articles, and then I look at ones that I'm interested in. Yeah, well, I think it was an Aussie voice that I had there before, but they switched it to a guy. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to switch screens now. Pretty shocking headline there, but this is the cold case of Joseph Mullins from 1944 in Panama City, Florida. How's that for an old one? I'm not saying there's a ton of information on it or anything, but so here we go. The headless body of Joe Mullins, 49, proprietor of the Mullins Grill, missing since Wednesday night, was discovered Saturday under a clump of bushes, a city block away from the Panama City Cemetery. wonder if that's still there. Gotta go check that out. Well, obviously the cemetery is still there. What are they? It's not like it's the movie Poltergeist where you're moving it around. Let's see. You know, maybe it has a new name now. It looks like maybe that's Panama City Cemetery Lots. I don't know, that seems kind of weird. Let's see. Identification was made by Mrs. Hazel Mullins' widow and brother. Police said they had been unable to locate any clues. The head has not been recovered. Police said Mullins came here in 1936 from Shaw, Mississippi. Let's see. Panama City Cemetery. I just want to find one that actually has that name. I don't see it. I mean, this is the only thing that says that. But it says Panama City Cemetery Lots. Whatever the hell that means. Maybe that's like one of those ones where you put in like urns or something. Let's see. I don't know. 1944 is a long time ago, you know. So that was the first article that I could find, and then a week later, another article about the same thing. They offered a $500 reward. I think 1944, that would be pretty big. Leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible for the death of Joe W. Mullins. You know, I'm kind of wondering now if I look up Joe, if more articles would pop up. I didn't do that. I did Joseph. Let me try that. Hold on. Joe W. Mullins in Florida. 1944. Oh, let me do February 19. Yeah, so there's a few more in there now. That was the reward right there on the 19th. Let's see. And then they did arrest some people. So March 23rd, Sheriff John Scott said Thursday 3 persons have been arrested and formally charged with the slaying of Joseph W. Mullins, 49, whose headless body was found February 12th near the Panama City Cemetery.
Can you enable the bot, please, Gray?
Oh. Man, that voice is just throwing me off, man. It sounds like somebody literally is like calling me on the side and saying something. I meant to enable the bot. That intro is when the intro is playing is when I enabled the bot, and that threw me off completely. That it wasn't there. Okay. So now it's saying Joseph W. Mullins, 49, whose headless body was found February 12th. He listed the trio for whom warrants were issued by County Judge C.S. Russ as Clifford Whitfield, his wife Effie Whitfield, and Earl Wheeler. Scott said all three insisted they were innocent and had no knowledge of the crime for which he attributed robbery as a motive. Scott declined to discuss the information on which he based the arrest. The date for a preliminary hearing has not yet been set. Mullins, operator of a restaurant here, disappeared the night of February 9th. He left home early that evening after taking his wife home from downtown. The following day, Mrs. Mullins saw her husband's automobile parked near the post office and drove it to the police station. On the morning of February 12th, the body was found near a clump of bushes in a suburban section. No traces of the head has ever been found. And then a couple was released. Earl Wheeler and Miss Effie Whitfield, who had been held. This is a month later. Well, actually not even a month. Like 10 days later. Earl Wheeler and Mrs. Effie Whitfield had been held on a charge of murder in connection with the death of Joseph W. Mullins yesterday, were released from custody on order of Circuit Judge Ira A. Hutchinson. Mullins disappeared the night of February 9th, and his decapitated body was found 3 days later. No trace of the head has been discovered. Wheeler and Miss Whitfield were released after a hearing on the writs of habeas corpus were filed by their attorney. So they must have let the other guy go too, because this is an article from yesterday. So let's listen to this. This is like a relative right here. So I can see Linda's house at Chill right there. Isn't that weird? Like it's showing up on the screen, but I can't see her type in anything. That's weird, isn't it? And thank you, Linda's House of Chill and Sarita up there. Thank you very much. And Lisa Bevan. I think I said that before. So here we go.
They never found his head then. They said it was cut off clean.
It's been 76 years since a local restaurant owner was murdered in cold blood, and for the first time, a woman is speaking out about what she knows. She came to Panama City on the SS Tarpon in the 1930s and was a young girl when the crime took place. But Dorothy Lumley says she remembers it all like it was yesterday, the 1944 murder of Joseph Mullins.
Didn't have a lot of crime in Panama City at that time. It was a quiet little town. Left everything open.
The 1940s brought us jazz, jeeps, and the deadliest war in our nation's history. But cold-blooded murders were a rare occurrence, especially in small towns like Panama City. According to media reports, the 55-year-old downtown Panama City grill owner's blood-soaked Chevy sedan was located the day after he went missing. On February 10th, his wife found his car across from the post office on 5th Street. It wasn't until Saturday that...
Okay, hold on. Let's see if it's still there. That's probably it, right? Well, let's see. 105th. Okay, so where's 5th Street then? Jenkins at 17th. Let's just look at this one. Is this 5th Street? 15th. No, it's 17th. So 5th would be down here. So that's probably it right there. This one. Yeah, it looks old too, doesn't it? Look at that.
That his headless torso where he went missing. On February 10th, his wife found his car across from the post office on 5th Street.
I think that's it, right? Yep. So across from the post office on 5th Street. So out here somewhere. Of course, it was 1944, so it looked totally different.
It wasn't until Saturday that his headless torso was finally discovered by officers. Belly down, arms twisted in different directions. Now, 3/4 of a century later, the case remains unsolved, but not yet forgotten, as a new detail is revealed by a 94-year-old woman who says it was the butcher.
My uncle, Warren Davis,
That was kind of ridiculous.
was coming home from work, and he was coming up the
I mean, come on.
Clay Road here.
Forgotten, as a new detail is revealed by a 94-year-old woman who says it was the butcher.
How's that for
My
sensationalism?
Uncle, Warren Davis, he was coming home from work, and he was coming up the Clay Road here on Balboa, and he saw this car back down in the woods. So he walked over to kind of see what they were doing. They were pulling something out of the back of the car. And then he recognized that it was the butcher from Piggly Wiggly and Mullins' wife. He began to chase him, and he chased him all the way home. He lived on 15th Street on the corner there where poor folks used to be, but there used to be a house there.
After hearing of Mullins' death, Davis wasted no time by calling the cops and telling them what he saw. Lumley says the headless body was recovered at the same wooded area where Davis encountered the butcher and the wife the day before.
2 deputies, 2 policemen, anyway, came to the house where he was at and told him to forget what he saw, and it was best that he left town for a while and not to tell anybody.
After police left, her horrified uncle made the family swear to never tell another soul. Lumley says they never did until her uncle died 20 years ago.
I called the police department and told them about my uncle, and they said something about that they think that the butcher had died up there in Dothan.
Police ended up with 3 suspects who were later released for lack of evidence. Today, one theory remains. Mullins was robbed and murdered because of his underground presence in the world of gambling.
That's what people said.
Lumley says she's seen the reports and that she's aware that apparently Mullins had a gambling problem, but she doesn't buy it. She has a theory all of her own.
People said they were having an affair
Yeah.
and wanted to get him out of the way.
For more cold case stories like this, head to mypanhandle.com or download the My Panhandle mobile app.
Yeah, so it says, according to media reports, the 55-year-old downtown Panama City grill owner's blood-soaked Chevy sedan was located the day after he went missing by his wife. It wasn't until Saturday that his headless torso was finally discovered by officers, belly down, with its arms twisted in different directions. Now, 3/4 of a century later, the case remains unsolved but not yet forgotten. You know, so basically, this lady thinks it was maybe some kind of an affair, but it's an unsolved case in Florida. Let's see. Over the years, the family knew, Lumley said, but nobody else knew. Well, hold on, let me get up here. Lumley said when the cops showed up to take a statement from Davis, he could tell something was off. They came to his house where he was at and told him to forget what he saw, and it was best if he left town for a while. Lumley said her uncle was horrified by the situation, afraid of what might happen to him if he ever told anyone else. He stayed home for a very long time. I think that was what he cited. Over the years, the family knew, Lumley said, but nobody else knew, and we never told anybody else, and we never repeated it because he was afraid of what might happen to him if he told. According to media reports, there wasn't much evidence to go on, and Mullins' severed head was never located. However, based on the amount of blood in the car, authorities were able to conclude that the decapitation took place outside the vehicle in the woods where his body was found, and that more than likely the weapon of choice was either an axe or a meat cleaver. Jesus. Lumley said that she's not sure why police were reluctant to use her uncle's testimony, but their warning was enough to keep her uncle quiet for the rest of his life. See, that is kind of weird. Like, why would the police tell him not to say anything? After he died 20-something years ago, and it came out in the paper about unsolved murders, Lumley said, I called the police department and told them about my uncle, and they said that they think the butcher had died in Dothan. Media reports said that police ended up with 3 different suspects who were later released for lack of evidence. Today, one theory remains. Mullins was robbed and murdered because of his presence in the underground world of gambling. Lumley said she's seen those reports and aware of Mullins' gambling problem, but she doesn't buy it, and she has a theory of her own. People said they were having an affair, Lumley said. They wanted to get him out of the way. Well, there you go. That's a really old one. Not a ton of information on it, but was able to find the original articles. Okay, then we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, this one is a case Angel Cenkov, or Cenkov, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but Cenkov. And this is in Bristol Township, Wisconsin, 1981. And I'm not doing guys tonight because somebody said, oh great, you don't ever do guys. They were just sent to me. I cover ones that I'm interested in. If you send me something, I'll look at it, but I generally cover cases of cold cases of women. And not only, I think there's just more of them, and they are more likely to be some sort of a serial killer type when you have those. Guys are usually killed for some, drugs, or they cheated on somebody, or that kind of thing. Yeah, I know it's a guy. Thanks, Susie B. Thanks for informing me of that. Yeah, well, I got this idiot troll that always comments all the time. The body of an unidentified man. This is the case again of Angel. It might be like Cenkov, Cenkov. Not really sure. The body of an unidentified man who was shot in the head with a shotgun was found about 2:25 p.m. Tuesday in a cornfield. And this article's from the following day. In Kenosha County, the body of a white male who appeared to be about 50 years old was found on the north side of State Line Road, County Highway WG, a half-mile west of County Highway U. Captain Roger Zehen of the Sheriff's Department said Danny Gold, a County Highway Department worker. How many times do we see that, too? The highway workers finding bodies. Discovered the body while operating a mower in the area. And for that exact reason, too. They're cleaning the sides of the road. Zehen said Gold first noticed some money lying on the shoulder of the road. When he found a hat nearby, Gold began looking around and found the body about 35 feet from the edge of the cornfield. The man was 5'7", about 200 pounds, with brown eyes and receding black hair. He was wearing a tan pinstripe short-sleeved shirt, chocolate brown pinstripe pants, and light brown dress shoes. A pathologist determined the man had been dead for 48 to 72 hours. Zehen said it was hard to say whether the man had been shot at the scene or somewhere else. Hold on, I gotta let some air out of this. Because the rainy weather would have obliterated any evidence there may have been. He said it appeared that the body had been dragged into the field from the road. The Sheriff's Department is asking residents to help identify the man. The State Crime Laboratory will assist in providing fingerprints. And again, this is from 1981, so not terribly long ago, but you know, now 1981, believe it or not, it's 40 years ago. In my brain, it seems like it's a lot less. But it is the second time this year an unidentified body has been found in Kenosha County. Let's see. In March, the bodies of New Yorker William Callahan, 50, and his 29-year-old companion, Wendy McDade, were found in a field in the Chewacki Prairie south of Kenosha. They had been shot 3 times in the head. It took almost 3 weeks to learn the identity of the couple. A break in the case came when a Chicago hotel employee identified them from an artist's rendering. Callahan later was linked to a $1 million embezzlement probe in New York. The killers have not been found. Who's Callahan? What are you guys talking about? Oh yeah, in March, the bodies of New Yorker William Callahan, 50, and his 29-year-old companion, Wendy. Okay. So he was probably just taken out. And Wisconsin, again, uses a dumping ground. You remember how we heard that in one of the other stories? Seems like we were talking about a while ago, where they were saying that people from Chicago were dumped in Wisconsin. So this is a year later right here. Money bought New Yorkers Wendy K. McDade and William H. Callahan the finer things in life. In the end, however, it could not. This is the other case that was mentioned in that last article. It could not save them from violent deaths. The couple's bodies were found a year ago today on windswept in Chewacki Prairie in Kenosha County by naturalist Phil Sander while he took an early spring walk. Each had been shot 3 times in the head with a small caliber weapon. The sensational case remains open, and Kenosha and New York City authorities continue their investigations. Despite Callahan's reported millions, Kenosha County Coroner Thomas Dorff said he's waiting for Callahan's family to pay less than $1,000 in funeral costs. Yeah, Jesus. A court order may be sought to allow the county to use part of the $1,500 in Canadian currency found in Callahan's pockets to pay the outstanding bill. The expenses include the costs of cremation, embalming, and fees to store the body. McDade's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gordon Schmier of Seattle, Washington, settled their accounts with the coroner's office. Whether Callahan's bills are paid or not, authorities are still trying to juggle evidence in the case without suspects, without a clearly defined motive, and without a recovered murder weapon. A year ago, McDade and Callahan's death were described as professional in style and made headlines in newspapers here and New York City. Lately, Dorff said the case has been quiet. The other case is mentioned here in a minute. I just wanted to see how they're... Yeah, let's see. Callahan, 54. I'm sure this is a cold one too, I would imagine. His snow white hair colored auburn was formerly vice president and treasurer of the his father-in-law's New York City firm, Arc Electrical. He was under investigation regarding the alleged embezzlement of as much as $10 million from Arc. Wow. A former Broadway dancer who had small parts in several movies, Callahan's tastes reportedly included Perrier water, Mercedes-Benz, automobile, and beautiful women. Mystery, intrigue, beauty, lots of money, glamour, and crime became wound together, yet disjointed like segments of a screenplay filmed with only a partial cast. Missing from the puzzle are the motive, the identity of the killer or killers, and the reason why the pair disappeared prior to turning up slain. In the early morning hours of March 18th, the first two puzzle pieces fit brutally in place when McDade and Callahan's bodies were discovered lying in a blood-stained prairie. While officials know more about the case than they did when the bodies were found, Kenosha County Sheriff Gerald Sonquist said this week, "We haven't got anything on it. No leads, nothing. It was a horrendous case. We're still chasing down some information." Sonquist described the case as one he is agonized over because of the case's sensational nature and the plethora of publicity it received. Sonquist remains confident his department will get a decent lead. So far, however, the leads the department have received have been fruitless. Last year, Sonquist said he thought the slayings had the appearance of an assassination-type murder. A year later, he said he isn't sure the killings could simply be labeled professional or gangland style. Sonquist added he has received nothing from New York City authorities lately. Seth Rosenberg, an assistant New York City district attorney, said the case is open and being investigated by the New York City Police Department. We're looking at the whole thing, he said, referring to the... And then I know that there's the other guys mentioned in here, so I just want to see when. Let's see. Maybe murder for embezzlement, to which Callahan was linked. Even without the tie to Ark's embezzlement, Callahan led a colorful life. Here's the Ken Cenkov case over here. So, a Kenosha official says Angel Cenkov, the Bulgarian man found shot to death in a county cornfield, was the trigger man. See, listen how weird this... Oh yeah, that's why it was important. I remember kind of briefly going through this one. Listen to how crazy this one is. A Kenosha official says Angel Cenkov, the Bulgarian man found shot to death in a county cornfield, was the trigger man in the Callahan and McDade murders, the ones we were just talking about. Cenkov was gunned down about 6 months after Callahan and McDade, and nearly in the same way. His death was a grisly sign to authorities that the couple's murders had been solved with the immigrant's death, the official theorized. Kenosha County Sheriff Gerald Sonquist, however, says there's no connection between Cenkov's death and the Prairie murders. Well, then why does it say up here? So that's just an official. Another curious circumstance occurred when relatives contacted after the identities of the couple were released claimed not to have known about the murders. Callahan's son, William, registered shock and disbelief when a reporter told him about his father's death. The younger Callahan, though, did not come to Kenosha to identify his father. The dead Callahan daughter, Eleanor, identified her father by examining the shape of his fingernails, an old football injury on his knee, and by looking at his little toenail. Yeah, okay. These are pretty crazy stories. And then this is 1986. Killers in Illinois may have dumped the bodies of their victims in the southern Wisconsin county because of the lack of a death penalty in Wisconsin. Two top law enforcement officials say the presumption is the death occurs where the body is found, absent any indication otherwise. District Attorney Robert D. Zapp said, yep. The presumption is you're at least going to live, you're not going to be put to death. If I were going to kill somebody, I would do it in a state without a death penalty. The most recent case of body dumping as the practice is called, occurred last week when the body of a 22-year-old Chicago woman was found in a swampy area of the town of Salem. Charles Volk, VLK, wow, that's a weird, 30, of Chicago, has been charged in the slaying of Donna Strange. Thanks, Kit Kat. If you can't think of anything clever to say, she normally says, donation lags.
I can't think of anything clever to say. Lol, open mouth smile.
Oh my god. This new voice is bugging me, man. And it said lol, right? Oh, and by the way, everybody, Jenny Penny apparently won her case up there. So I might have her come on and explain it all at some point. So good for her. Thank you, Monica M. Wow. Never seen that one. When you cross the state line, you complicate the investigation. County investigators sent to Illinois, for example, are not familiar with the territory, he said. Other victims found recently: William Callahan, 50, Wendy McDade, 29, both of New York. Angel Cenkov, 54, a Bulgarian immigrant living in Chicago, and Eric Hansen, whose torso was found in 1983 in the town of Summers. Wow. Thank you, Monica M. All right. So now we're going to go on to another one. Oh yeah, I was going to do this as well. Remember that case, Tonee Turner, that we covered? I think it was in Pittsburgh, where she was at a coffee shop, and then they found her purse on the bridge. Cairo went out there. They just wanted me to... They sent me an email and wanted me to bring it up again. And for some reason, it's not opening up on the screen. By God, it will at some point, though. So hold on a second. Thanks, Allison R. God, what's going on with that? Yeah, so she still hasn't been found, but let me read this. Dun, dun, dun. Now, maybe it was a bagel shop, wasn't it? It's like a bagel shop. All right, Tonee Turner was last seen getting off the 93 bus around 6:15 at the intersection of Hazel. Let me see what we've got on this one. Yeah. Okay, so there was now it was Deborah, a tea shop, not a bagel shop. Let's see. Intersection of Hazelwood Avenue and Giddings Street. Let's see where that is. There we go. Okay, so that's different. That's different now. That's something new that we didn't have before. She was seen getting off a bus right here. Interesting. That's nowhere near where they had her before. How did she get off over there if they found her purse on this bridge? Oh man, they probably just dumped her.
Why does my voice sound like I inhaled sulfur hexafluoride past the helium?
I don't know why it sounds like that. But maybe that's what you normally sound like. We just don't know. Actually, we do. But now it sort of looks like she was over here at Deborah's Tea, and then she got off a bus over here, and something happened to her, and then whoever did something to her is probably who threw her purse out and wallet as they crossed over this bridge. Just like those other cases we talk about where people just throw it, right? So let's see. Tonee Turner was last seen getting off the 93 bus around 6:15 at the intersection of Hazelwood Avenue and Giddings Street. She is said to have been walking towards her home located in the Owl Hollow. So let's see where that is. Probably somewhere down in here. Let's type that in. Oh yeah, right there. I mean, just so her home is just down in here. She may have made it home, as the red coat she wore to work was found at her home. Okay, well, that's interesting. Some of her belongings were found on the Homestead Grays Bridge between 7:30 and 8:30. So literally, she gets off the bus at 6:15, makes it home, and then some of her belongings are already found on that bridge. Other items were mysteriously found 2 weeks later. We were searching for a ceramic vase and shoes that were taken off the bridge, as well as an accurate description of these items. There's a reward for any information that leads directly to Tonee's whereabouts. Please contact the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police at 412-423-7800 or 412-689-2812. Huh, that's interesting. Other items were mysteriously found 2 weeks later. We were searching for a ceramic vase and shoes that were taken off the bridge. I still think it's possible she just jumped, like after that she goes to the bridge but they never found her, so I don't know. It's a really weird story though. Yeah, I don't know what the vase means at all. No idea. I might actually reach out to this person, see if they can give me more information. Because they sent me an email, they wanted to be anonymous, but anyways. So it's interesting that now we know that she made it home, likely. Oh yeah, and before we move on, I want to bring up this, I'm not a fan of pit bulls at all. So, and the reason why is because to me they're just a ticking time bomb. You always get every owner that has one. Oh, mine's so nice, it would never do that. And then the ones that kill people, they say the same damn thing. Okay, they always say how great theirs is. Okay, I don't give a shit. I think pit bulls should be banned. Oh, that's so ignorant, Gray. They're the greatest. Nope, sorry. All right. Anyways, teen girl 15 is left in a coma after her neighbor's two pit bulls ripped off her scalp and left ear and damaged her throat in vicious attack while she was walking near her home. So that girl's life physically is ruined. You know, like she's just... It's ridiculous. Okay? Every time I see a pit bull, I go to the other side of the street. Okay? Because I don't want to be the one, oh my God, my dog was the greatest. Okay? A 15-year-old Georgia girl was nearly mauled to death by 2 pit bulls on Friday while she was walking through the neighborhood. Jocelyn Stitchcomb has been placed on a ventilator by doctors at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta after she had her scalp torn off, her left ear bitten off, and her trachea damaged. The young girl was weeks away from starting her sophomore year in high school. Was listed on Monday in critical condition. Look at that right there. You know what pit bulls are? They're like having a pistol that you've cocked back, and it's a hair trigger. And it's just sort of like, oh yeah, if you take care of it really well, it's not going to fire. But if you don't, boom. Okay? Yeah, I just don't care. I think pit bulls should be banned. Sorry. Yeah, they're bred for that reason, and that's why they should be banned. I think pit bulls are a menace to society. The people who get pit bulls are the ones that are sort of insecure about themselves, so they need this big freaking dog to make themselves feel more powerful or something. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. So. Yeah, it's just, if you have a small child and you have a pit bull, you should be put in prison for being an idiot. Okay? Seriously. Because at any moment, even though they're the greatest, nicest dog that you've ever seen, something could trigger them and bam, they're going to rip your kid up into shreds. All right? Now you might think, oh, that's just so naive. No, it's really not. Every single pit bull story, well, not everyone, but 90% of them, has the owner saying, wow, it was so nice. It was, and by the way, they're banned in other countries. Okay? So it's not like what I'm saying here is ludicrous. They kill something like 40 to 50 people a year and then maim many more. Okay? And that's way too many. Nah, I don't think society's ruined them. I just think that they were bred for a reason, and that reason isn't something we should have in society. There's something wrong with it. So anyways, this is what she looks like now. You can see that she doesn't have her ear over here, and she's just really struggling, and this is what she looked like before. And there's a couple of the dogs right there, and that's the owner. A real tough guy there, just wow, I'm so cool. Hopefully they just put him to sleep immediately. Let's see. Jocelyn was walking in her home neighborhood of Winder, Georgia, a small town about 25 miles west of Athens, on Friday afternoon, when she was chased and attacked by 2 pit bulls. It's not about the owner, everybody. Everybody always says that. Sometimes it is the owner, but there's been great owners of a pit bull, and the pit bull turns out to be a freaking psycho and kills somebody. All right? So let's not keep making excuses. It's always the owner. So that's a PETA line, and sort of like the whole dog. The pro pit bull rescue people always say the same shit over and over again. It just drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I think any dog that kills another person should just be immediately unless it's in a self-defense mode, moment where somebody's attacking, going into your house, trying to break in, and then your dog does something. Okay, but when the dogs just chase people down on the streets and kill them, rip them apart, those dogs should be shot on the spot. I mean, just show up and boom! They are ridiculous. Now watch. Tomorrow I'll get all these hate. You don't know anything about them. I have 2 of them. They're the greatest dogs in the world. How dare you cut down the pit bulls? Oh, golly, 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 golly. Yeah. The Barrow County Sheriff's deputy who responded to a 911 call arrived on the scene and found Jocelyn lying face down against the curb as one dog was grabbing her neck and the other was biting at her head. When the deputy got out of the vehicle, one of the dogs approached him. The deputy then shot the dog, who ran off, having suffered a bullet wound. Well, hopefully it got killed. The other dog released its grip on young Jocelyn and also ran, according to the report. Investigators later located both dogs at the residence of 29-year-old Alexandria, I think that might be a woman actually, Alexandria Torregrossa, according to Classic City News. After Torregrossa returned home, she was taken into custody and charged with reckless conduct. The dogs were transferred into the custody of Barrow County Animal Control. One of the dogs was euthanized on Friday. The other was put down on Monday. Yeah, good for them. According to her Facebook page, Torregrossa moved to Winder from Brooklyn, New York. She lists her occupation as a commercial driver for... See, I mean, I think she should get like 10 years in prison. Because it's so negligent to have dogs like that, especially running free. Oh man, Jesus, I just can't stand these kind of dogs. Montgomery said that Jocelyn's scalp was damaged to the point where she may never have natural grown hair again. Jesus. There may be implants and things that can be done, but it will be over a year before those discussions can even begin. Jocelyn's aunt said she'd suffered lacerations all over her face and body. Jocelyn also sustained nerve damage that may affect her smile. That sucks. Jesus. It's not the dog's fault. That's just how they are. Jocelyn also sustained nerve damage that may affect her smile, her blinking, and other facial expressions. On Sunday, doctors learned that Jocelyn had a blood clot in her jugular vein that may need treatment. Yes, I think that would need treatment. There is still so much that we don't know about the injuries, but we know that God knows that and can heal her. Jocelyn will most likely need years of extensive therapy, according to her family. The family has requested that anyone willing to donate towards medical expenses do so through a PayPal link. Now maybe we'll throw a couple hundred in there. Now. Let me put this over on the side over here. I don't know if you guys are interested. I might, at the end of the month, send some money over there. That seems crime related. Yeah, what a nightmare. Jesus. Okay, there's that story. We also had a... Oh yeah, do you guys want to see... You know the George Floyd video? There's a full-length video here. Well, it's a YouTube video, though, so I can't really play it, but... Let me put the video in the description. You guys can check that out. Although, you know what? Let me check that out. Who posted that? Is it a news outlet? Yeah, it's Daily Mail. So I'll just play it on the side here. Thanks, Kim F. Sharp Harp.
I see your hands. Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand. Both hands. Put your hands up right now. Let me see your other hand.
So this is Daily Mail. Let me put this in there.
Put your hand up there. Put your hand up there. Hands on the wheel. Hands on the wheel. Off in the car. Put your foot back in.
For the medical bill donation.
I got shot the same way as I was before.
Okay, well, when I say let me see your hands, you put your hands up.
Thank you.
You got them?
Dang, man.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Last time I got shot like that was I was
Hands on top of your head.
Maybe we'll do it
Hands on top of your head.
sort of mid-month or something. I don't know. I'll just...
Step out of the vehicle and step away from me, all right? Step out and face away. Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me. Please, man.
I'm not going to shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm going to get out of here, man. Please don't shoot me, man. Please, man.
See, there's something wrong with George Floyd, you know? Like, he's just kind
Step
of...
out and face away.
He's got a mental problem.
Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me, Mr. Officer. Please don't shoot me, man.
Step out and face away.
You're not shooting me, man.
I'm not shooting you. Step out and face away.
Okay. Please, man. Please. I didn't know, man.
Get out of the car.
I didn't know, Mr. Officer.
And then he starts saying how he's got claustrophobia, but he's in the car driving it.
Stop moving. Put your hands behind your back then. I'm not going to do nothing. Face in the door. Get his door home.
What are you talking about,
Hey,
Samara?
come back. Stay in the car. Stop resisting, man.
Thanks, Nan Sullivan.
Yes, you are. Stand up.
Against the wall. Yes.
What I doing?
We're figuring out what's going on. Drop the bag.
Figure out what's going on. Adam,
What's the problem?
it ain't us. We was getting a ride. I just got my phone fixed.
Yeah, anyways, it just kind of...
I hear you, but you're going to face the door
Door
right
right
now.
now. Listen up. Stop.
I was leaving.
So they tried to get... Listen, they tried to give him many chances just to get in the back. He's crazy, though.
God, man, I'm going to do nothing like that, y'all. Why is it going on like this?
Just do what they're telling you to do.
No, sir.
You know, it's still there's still the point where they did nothing for him after he put the knee on his neck, okay? They let him die.
I am claustrophobic for real, Mr. Officer.
But there was definitely something wrong with
Please
him.
back it for me, please.
Yes, I'm
Remember,
back
man.
it.
Stay
I
with me,
will.
man.
I will.
Please stay with me, man. Thank you. God, man. I didn't know I was doing that, man. Please, man. I just want my...
Right, well, he dies another way because he was on the ground and that one officer... I think he died from a heart issue.
I'm listening.
But they did nothing to help him, so they still call it a homicide.
All right, he's good. This gun's working. There's nothing working.
Okay.
Grab a seat.
I'll
I'll roll the windows down, okay?
Please, man. Please don't take a seat. I'm going in, Mr. Officer. I'm going in. No, you're not. I gotta go in. Take a seat.
See, he won't get in the car. He kept resisting.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy, man. Take a seat. Yo, I'm gonna die here. Take a seat. I'm gonna die, man. You need to take a seat right now.
Okay, so he might have been aware that he was having a problem with something else.
Hey, listen.
Dang, man.
Listen.
I'm not that kind of guy.
I'll roll the windows down and you put your legs in, all right?
But see, the cops aren't being overly anything right now, right?
Look at it. We can fix it, but not while you
No, but he's scared he's paranoid.
God, y'all do me bad, man.
Because he's on drugs. There isn't something that's going on that he's scared about.
I don't want to win. I'm claustrophobic. I'm claustrophobic. I got anxiety. I don't want to do nothing to them.
I'll roll the window down.
Man, I'm scared. When I start breathing, it's gonna go off on me, man.
See, he's just talking right there. I'm gonna stop breathing. He just said that.
I'm going in. Please. I'm not trying to win. I get on the ground, anything. I can't stand this, man. He know it. Get in this car. We can talk. I'm claustrophobic. I'm hearing you, but you're not working with me.
So they're trying to get him in, and then they try to pull him.
Over here, I'm gonna pull you in. Get in the car. In the front. No, you're not getting in the front. I'll get in the car. Okay, man. Okay. I'm not a bad guy, man. Get in the car. I'm not a bad guy.
I'm not a bad guy. Okay, yeah, but you're being arrested, so. And then he wiggles out the other side.
Take a seat. Please, man. Please. No, take a seat. I can't choke. I can't breathe. Please. Fine.
See, it sounds like he was having a hard time breathing on his own right there. Because nobody was choking him. Who knows why he's being arrested? I think it's irrelevant. Because they weren't being violent with him at all. They just were, he was him creating a situation. And then the one guy at the end, when he put his knee, that's the guy that caused the national issues. Because it was so ridiculous that he wasn't even going to try to help or do anything. And he let George Floyd die. Okay? And that's exactly the kind of idiot that we don't want on the police force. Okay? But yeah, I mean, he's being arrested for something. Yeah, that's right. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was counterfeit, right? Counterfeiting. And, you know, you can see him right there acting absolutely crazy. Going nuts. So, you know, it's important to see the videos. It doesn't change the fact that the officer put his knee on his neck and didn't give a damn after he said he couldn't breathe. But he was saying, well, here's one thing. He kept saying he couldn't breathe before, when there was nobody's hands or anything around his neck, right? There was no hands around his neck. There was nothing like that. So he kept saying, oh, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. So maybe, I think he was having an event, okay? And then the officer probably heard him say it again, but he did nothing about it at that point. So those are the kind of idiots that we don't want policing. You know, because he had a whole bunch of other sort of citations against himself internally. Yeah, I mean, he had drugs in his system. He had a heart issue. It's weird that case is the one that turned into this huge thing. There's other ones that completely innocent people were killed. This guy, yeah. But still, the officer let him die, and basically, it was weird to see that right there on camera. You're not silenced, Carolina. I can see your. What makes you think you're silenced? Carolina K. What makes you think you've been silenced? Yeah, it's kind of a weird comment. Why? Because people aren't responding to everything that you say? What? I don't get it. Right, but that's not what police are for, Gen H and Miscus. They're there to enforce the law. You know, and if he's passing fake 20s, he should be arrested for it, don't you think? Right. I mean, he had this great family and everybody, right? I mean, they're all out there talking about how great they were. I mean, I'm sure he could have got help from them, right? No, nobody did anything to you, Carla. That's just in your mind. Nobody could. Nobody. I don't care if you disagree with me on the Pitbull thing. Nobody did anything to your comments. Okay, that's just something that you're picturing. Okay, I can go up and see that not one time. You retracted, like up there it says you retracted 1, 2, 3 comments, and that means you did it. Okay, right? But I'm saying up above, you removed your 3 comments, because the word, when it says message retracted, that means you removed it. Nobody else did. Okay, so I don't know if it's some kind of glitch you got going on, something like that. Yeah, don't worry about it, okay? But nobody blocked you or anything. But of course we get derailed again from what the hell we were talking about. Anyways, yes, it was good that video captured an officer doing that so that people in the public could see some things that are going on, and it's going to create a scenario where we can get rid of some of those cops a little easier that act like that. I mean, just the look on that guy's face when he had the knee on his neck, just, ugh, God. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to move on to a cold case of Julie Harris from 1996. This one's kind of weird. A 12-year-old girl with artificial feet ran away from her Colville, Washington home last week and has not been heard from since. Julie Harris was having troubles at Colville Junior High School. On March 3rd, the double amputee and Special Olympics champion got up early, grabbed 4 slices of pizza, and vanished. Julie's mother, Sherry Harris, was so stricken by her daughter's disappearance that she was forced to check into a hospital. Sherry Harris traveled to Spokane on Wednesday looking for her daughter. She believes Julie may be hiding in the city with friends. But Colville police shared a distressing tip with Harris, and Julie last had been seen with a man in a trench coat. Until recently, Julie was an upbeat child who read mysteries and comics, said her mother, but during the past month, the 7th grader's attitude had soured. On March 2nd, she had an argument with her mother's boyfriend, Don Sachs. Sachs said he was urging her to do her homework and be responsible when Julie exploded and told him off. Sachs then told her to go to bed. The night she set her alarm for 5:20 a.m., she left home in a black skirt and a pink and black striped sweater. So let me read that again. On March 2nd, she had an argument with her mother's boyfriend. Sachs said he was urging her to do her homework and be responsible. When Julie exploded and told him off, Sachs said he had told her to go to bed. That night, she set her alarm for 5:20 a.m. That's pretty early. She left home in a black skirt and a pink and black striped sweater, her mother said. She forgot the stuffed puppy she takes everywhere. Sherry Harris is frustrated that police seem to do little to help find her daughter. She printed her own Please Help flyers with Julie's picture and description. 5 feet 1, 115 pounds, bluish hazel eyes, sandy blonde hair. Harris describes her daughter as loving but insecure. Because of her feet and her scars, she feels different. Julie was born with a blood disorder that left her scars and skin graft. She gets around on prosthetic feet braces. Between trying to fit in and be one of the girls, she lost contact with what's right and wrong, said Sachs. We just want to know she's safe. Harris said Julie's bedroom is full of Special Olympic medals and trophies, including a gold medal for downhill skiing. While discussing her daughter's her daughter, Harris cried and her eyes strayed whenever a young girl walked by. I can't help it, she said, clutching her face with her hands. I have to look. The case of a missing 12-year-old double amputee has turned into a murder investigation. Colville police announced Monday that Julie Harris's artificial feet were found at the mouth of the Colville River over the weekend. Wow. Police Chief Damon Meshisnik said his department is now handling the girl's disappearance as a possible homicide. And this article is a month after the first one. Mashinek declined to discuss possible suspects in the investigation, but the mother of the missing child says police are questioning her boyfriend. And this is in Spokane, Washington. Harris has been missing since March 3rd. The Special Olympics champion got up early that day, grabbed 4 slices of pizza, and vanished, according to a runaway report filed with police. Sherry Harris said Monday she believes her daughter is alive in Oregon. Police have received reports from people who say they saw the girl near Bend. I don't feel that she's dead, Harris said. My heart doesn't feel that she's dead. A mother knows these things. I think she's in Oregon. Harris said her daughter can get around without her artificial feet and noted that one of the Oregon sightings had her in a wheelchair. Harris accused police of trying to frame her live-in boyfriend, Don Sachs. She said Sachs was questioned for hours Monday by police. Afterwards, she advised him to stop talking until he has consulted with an attorney. All they're looking for is a homicide, Harris said of the police. They're not looking for a live girl or child. Police refuse to discuss whether Sachs is a suspect. They also will not disclose what a beachcomber found April 9th at the confluence of a Columbia and Colville rivers. That find triggered an in-depth multi-agency search of the area last weekend. Oh, I wish we could know what that was. Sachs could not be reached for comment. In an interview last month, he said Julie was in bed when he left to go fishing early March 3rd and was gone when he returned. Well, that's interesting that he left to go fishing. You know, he claims he went to go, The night before she disappeared, Sachs said he was trying to persuade her that she needed to do her homework. He said she exploded and told him to go to hell. Until recently, Julie was an upbeat child who read mysteries and comics, said her mother. The child's bedroom was full of Special Olympic medals. The girl's attitude soured and her grades slid as she became increasingly self-conscious about her handicap. Julie was born with a blood disorder. Okay. All right, and then this is an article that came out yesterday. Looks like she's goofing around here and put her feet on that one on backwards right there. Let's see. Julie's mother, Sherry Odegaard, so she must have got married, says her daughter was taken while trying to do what she loved. She loved God. She went to church all the time, she said. And that's what she's doing. That's what she was doing the day this happened. Sherry says Julie was a funny kid and a bit of a prankster. She was very involved in Special Olympics. She recalls the final conversation with her daughter being a stern one. She had to come down on Julie because of her poor grades. When I told her she could do Special Olympic skiing, I told her she needed to keep her grades up. She said that was the that was the deal. She said F's so she couldn't go. Oh, she had F's.
Just wanted to wave hello to the freak family winking face.
Thanks, Kit Kat. Let's see. She vanished the next morning, March 3rd. She always waited. The people... let's see. She always waited. The people up the road would take her to church. Her brother wasn't going to go, obviously, because we were on the trip. She had to come down when I told her she could go to the Special Olympics. Okay, but Sherry says Julie's brother, who was also involved in Special Olympics, was able to go on the ski trip. She went with him, and Julie was angry to be left behind. So she was left alone with that guy, the boyfriend. She vanished the next morning, March 3rd. She always waited. The people up the road would take her to church. Her brother wasn't going to go, obviously, because we were on the trip. Julie got up, got ready like normal, and no one ever saw her again. Well, how do you know? You weren't there, right? Sherry's former live-in boyfriend was among the final people to see her alive, she says. He, too, was apparently on Julie about her grades before she disappeared. For years, Sherry says the former boyfriend has remained on police radar for this, but she's never suspected he had anything at all to do with Julie's murder. It would be a month before there were any leads on what happened. There were rumors initially that Julie had just run away. Sherry says she thought at first, maybe Julie was lying low with friends. She considered that maybe Julie had made her way to Spokane, but then Sherry says she was told something very disturbing. A witness had seen her walking down Main Street with a tall guy in a trench coat. Sherry says after hearing that, she was convinced something awful had happened to her daughter. I thought somebody kidnapped her, she said. We had a weird connection, Julie and me. About 6 months after she vanished, I just knew. It was in the middle of the day, and I just knew it was something. I knew. I think I was at the park. I was on my knees screaming and crying. But it would be about 6 months until she got official confirmation of what she already feared was true. It was a friend of mine who said they found a body, she said. I went to the police station, and they said, yeah, what do you know? Sherry says she believed police have suspected she was either involved or knew something from the get-go. She says her former boyfriend remained a clear person of interest, but she was convinced they were wasting time looking at it. Hey, thanks, Sarah Beth Colagrass. Julie loved him like a teddy bear. And these links are in the description, by the way, so you can check them out. KHQ called the Stevens County Sheriff's Office to ask if her or anyone has ever been cleared. The undersheriff told me the short answer is no, that former boyfriend remains a person of interest.
Hand-waving Kit Kat.
But he added that they have kept their minds open to other possibilities. Sherry says she first heard of Keys. So now they're talking about Israel Keys here. Actually, it says, and one of them is notorious serial killer, is Israel Keys. He, too, has never been cleared as a person of interest in Julie's murder. Sherry says she first heard about Keys being on the radar for her daughter's case about 15 years after she died. It was in 2012. Someone called me. I don't remember who. Thanks, Andrea Ruggiero Dro. That's when Sherry says she started doing some digging and was sent photos of Keys in his younger years. She learned when Keys was 18, he lived in Stevens County near them. Now that I saw the picture of the guy, Israel Keys, now that I saw the picture of him while he was younger, I remember him at a house Julie used to go to, she said. I had just an icy feeling about him. Sherry says memories she thought were irrelevant at the time have come back to her regarding Israel Keys in the neighborhood. She says Julie's best friend also remembers seeing Israel Keys talk to Julie at the local swimming pool. I don't know how good somebody's memory is going to be that much later. It could just be that it's sort of convenient, but definitely he's from the area. Right? Israel Keys killed himself in an Alaskan jail after killing a barista. The FBI told KHQ back in 2013. Thank you, Patricia M.
Hand waving at Kit Kat at Sarah Beth Collargross.
Hey, it's like a wave. I think there is something that will show he was his first. So what they're thinking is he's the first victim of Israel Keys. Sherry says she's hopeful answers will one day find their grieving family. She says the world missed out. You know. But the boyfriend's pretty interesting too, don't you think? I mean, I don't think it's normal when a parent leaves a young child with a boyfriend when they leave town. I don't know. The undersheriff told KHQ his department recently asked a retired detective to pore over everything they have on Julie's case. They say he spent months reviewing it. They are continuing to hold out hope that Julie's case can be solved. Well, maybe they should check for DNA on the feet that they found, because obviously the person must have touched them. Yeah. So that's one of the stories right there. What time did I come on, by the way? About 7:15, right? Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go back over the... Remember that... Jesus, man, I couldn't even speak. This thing tightens up on my neck, so it's hard to get words out. Oh, only 63 minutes ago? Oh. I don't know about... No, that's when I said I was going to start, but I didn't start at 7:30. I started at like 7:20 or something like that. Yeah, I don't think it was 63 minutes ago. That would have been 7:45. Yeah, 87. Okay, that's what I was thinking. All right, so you guys remember that Dina? Let me go back over to that one. We talked about this the other night. And I don't know about you guys, but I went and watched the entire documentary of I think it's called Murder Unknown, or Killer Unknown, or something like that. And it was on IDTV. And man, it was crazy. Some of the shit that they had on that one. And I've got a lot more precise information on it. I know exactly where she was found and everything. Yeah, so Dina Dean is the victim. Lori Fulbright is the reporter that we were checking out. You know, she's been covering the case, all the different crimes in that area for a long time. And then Michael Converse is the boyfriend, or no, a guy that Dina had sex with. Okay, and claimed that that she was pregnant. Remember that? She told him that?
there at 5 or
Hold on, I gotta find the original. There it is. Okay, so this is the case of Dina Dean Ann. At approximately 9 p.m. on June 6, 1998, so this is June 6th, 16-year-old Dina Dean left from work at the Marvin's food store. Well, she wasn't. This is inaccurate. She wasn't working at Marvin's. She left from work at the Marvin's food store. That's not where she worked. She worked at Arby's and went to visit a friend at Marvin. So it's weird that the official police website has errors in it. She was never heard from again. Dina's vehicle was discovered in the parking lot of Marvin's food store. She went there to actually see her friend, and then she was going to meet the boyfriend, Michael Converse, there. She was never heard from again. Dina's vehicle was discovered in the parking lot. On June 12, 1998, Dean's decomposed body was located in a field near a pond approximately 2 miles north of town. Okay, and it was ruled a homicide. So where her body, let's see, let's go to, she worked at this Arby's right here, and she got off work there at 8. She was supposed to, I'm doing this by memory now. She was supposed to go to a race, racetrack, because her dad races vehicles, and she couldn't get off of work, and she was going to go there after work, but then decided not to, and then decided to go over to Marvin. So right here is Arby's, and then she just went right over here to Marvin's video store, which is in Marvin's grocery store, to visit her friend, Brandy McClellan. Okay. Now, you remember the part where Brandy, when she went outside finally at like 10:15 or so to get the ride, she started crying? Well, the thing is, it makes sense now. They actually interview her in there. She actually, prior to crying, she went over to a phone and tried paging her friend many times, and she could see that her car was there, but her friend wasn't responding, and she wasn't at the car. So then she got really freaked out. It wasn't like she just walked out of the door and started crying. Okay, she tried to get a hold of her a whole bunch of times. Okay, so Brandy McClellan, best friend, worked at Marvin's. Okay, and then Michael, check this part out. Okay, so on June 4th, that's when Dina Dean told Michael Converse that she was pregnant on the 4th, okay? Now, here's something that's crazy, is that Michael called his dad, who was on a trip. And I think, let's see, where was that? Where was his dad at? Yeah, Table Rock over here. Yeah, so his dad was way over here on a trip. And somehow, he paged him, or however he got a hold of him. The father then drove back, and he was actually at Marvin's that night, talking to his son, who also works at Marvin's. So the story about, she going over to see Brandy, it might not have been true, because Michael Converse also worked at Marvin's. And he was working there that night. And he was working there right at that time, like at 10 o'clock. So witnesses saw Dina in the parking lot at 10 p.m. Dina was arguing with somebody. Soon after, that same car sped away and Dina wasn't there. Okay, so there's a witness to that. Now, John Converse, the brother of Michael, says that his brother got home at 10:45. Not 10:15. So the thing is Michael Converse, when he leaves Marvin's video store here, he claims that, oh yeah, well, she wasn't in the parking lot, so I just went home and I got home at 10:15. Okay, well, that's bullshit. Okay, his brother said he got home at 10:45. They didn't have the script written yet, so that definitely gives them enough time. And his dad showed up there that night too, okay? Now check this thing out. The next day, his dad, okay, on June 7th, Robert Converse, his dad, who's now a, quote, minister, he's really an embarrassment. You got to go check him out on Facebook. He went to Marvin's. Guess what he went to Marvin's to get, everybody? So his dad shows up to Marvin and tries to get something. What do you think that was? Put some guesses. No. Nice try, though, Christina. Okay, I'll let you know. He went there to get the time card of his son. Why the hell would anybody's parent drive over there to get the damn time card? Don't you find that crazy? It's like he went there to make sure. I didn't think anybody was going to guess that one. But he goes over there to get his son's time card because now it says, oh shit. You know, it has evidence of when he checked out and this kind of thing. And it had already been processed, so he wasn't able to get it. The police at one time did accuse Dina's brother. Okay, now the reason they accused him is because he actually went to, let me show you. This is where Dina was found. I got it exactly located now. It's right here at this pond. As a matter of fact, if you watch the documentary, you even see them at this gate right here. And then I finally found this gate. And then once I found the gate, there's this pond right here. And she was found back in this area right here on this property. And this is an area where at the time, this is a local hangout where people would go up there, you know, girlfriends and boyfriends, that kind of thing, and hang out up in this area. So they walked back. Apparently she was, I can't remember if it was that she was bashed in the head. She had like a huge, massive head injury, and she was killed and left right back here. But the brother, he had gone out here the following day, so she wasn't found for a week, right? And the brother went out here the following day with his wife and child, and he said, well, you guys stay in the car, and he went walking around. He didn't see anything. So then they think that he made them stay in the car so that they wouldn't see her body. But he's like, no, I didn't see it. You know, he didn't see anything. Okay, so you've got that angle in there. Okay, so time cards were used June 7th. Robert Converse went to Marvin's to get Michael's time card. And then, you know, so the police started investigating this case again in 2018. That's why it's in that series on IDTV. And it was weird because during that show, Robert Converse actually makes a post on Facebook. And I can find that for you guys. So here's Robert Converse right here. That's his wife. She's in the documentary. But notice how all the dates, the last time he posted was 2017 here. Okay, so there he is right there. Now that post is in here. The one that they found. I don't know if I've scrolled by it already, but I think I might have. Hold on. I wonder if he's removed it. Yeah, there it is. See, listen to how weird this sounds right here. You will soon be hearing of the unexplained death of a Tulsa minister. And that's what he is. Which will be a judgment of the Lord. Write it down. Tell your friends. The judgment of the Lord is coming against this distortion of grace. And you will see
it manifests in the unexpected death of a Tulsa minister. And then not long after this, he contacted the police over there and were trying to figure out what they were looking for and things like that. William Zambrano. How's it going, buddy? What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with William Zambrano. What do you mean there's something wrong with him? He's always nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. So what do you guys think of this one? It's wild. I think that the Converse family has something to do with it. I think they didn't want Dina, this girl pregnant, sort of ruining, the ministry. Oh my God, my son had a child out of wedlock. Ruining his kid's life. And it turns out she wasn't really even pregnant after all. Yeah, I was about to email you, William, because I hadn't seen you for a while. Good night, Kit Kat. Yeah, very similar. What other things was the dad? Yeah, he lawyered up almost. Here's another red flag. It's very similar because the father, Robert and Michael Converse, did not help at all to try to locate Dina Dean. They lawyered up immediately. Right? So boom. They wouldn't help at all. And for me, that's a red flag when somebody's just missing. So I'm talking about in the week until they found her, they would not help at all. That is always a red flag to me. I mean, I know it said, oh yeah, lawyer up. But come on. It's crazy. Let's see. Life is ironic, but it will usually bite you in the ass. Yeah. So what do you think? Sexist comments are being cheered on for it bothers. I don't know what you mean, Wombat. What sexist comments are you talking about? What happened? Who made sexist comments? What are you referring to? I'm confused. Ah, man. How come there's always so much drama in here all the time? Now, I just can't stand it. Shit. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I'll just be back in a minute. Don't forget, everybody, building up for next month's end of the month donations. Okay, so what was the comment? Can somebody type in? Somebody said, oh, I didn't think it was bad at all. Somebody type in what the comment was. I didn't get to see it. What was the comment that was, quote, sexist? Everything's something now. You know, you want to hear something crazy, everybody? In Oregon, guess what movie they just banned? Kindergarten Cop. That was one of the greatest. It was just such a great movie for what it was. And it's something about, like, it's overreach by police, so we're going to ban it. What a joke. You know what? Everybody out there, you guys are an embarrassment that do shit like that. Yeah, so what was the comment? Why would a mother leave her child alone with a stepdad?
Good to be back. Got a lot of catching up to do. Thumbs up.
Well, I didn't say that. I said, why would somebody leave a child with a boyfriend? I think it's kind of weird, you know, like, you leave a girl that's got, you know, obviously a handicap with a boyfriend. I don't know. I just think it's a little bit weird. That's what I said. I didn't say, if it was a stepdad, I wouldn't care at all, you know. So. Yeah. I hope that wasn't offensive to people, everybody. I don't think I would ever, I don't know. I mean, I understand, you know, look, it's sort of weird, like if you're, let's say you're dating somebody for a while, and you're a mom, and everything's great, and you totally trust the person, and you've talked maybe about getting married, and they're a boyfriend and everything. You know, maybe it's not that weird, okay? I guess it's, you know, when you do the true crime stuff after a while, it gets pretty, you start thinking, geez, man, that's a little bit reckless. But is it really? I mean, you know. So I can kind of see a little bit with Wombat. Now I sort of see a little bit what she's thinking, or he, or whatever it is. I can't remember. Wombat Dundee, is that a guy or a girl? I don't remember now. It's such a generic name. Oh, it's a guy. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I sort of see. So he's, you know, Because here's the thing: is most guys are normal people, right? And most guys would just be a really good sort of fill-in parent while the mom went and did something. Okay, so I see what you're saying. All right. Oh, it was something else? Okay, you didn't... I thought you guys told me what it was. But that would... I see what they're saying. I just still think, wow, how long were they dating? It's a little bit weird. He went... Okay, how about this? This is weird. That he was there to take care of her, right? But he got up to go fishing before she got up. So who was going to be taking care of her after that? She was left alone by herself? So that's kind of weird, right? No, I've met, there are many women that are shitty moms. I mean, way too many these days than there used to be. Okay? Parents used to really care about their kids a lot more. There's some, I don't know what the deal is, but wow. A lot of women put their kids second. And if I'm not talking about you, don't get offended, okay? Yeah, her prosthetics were found by a river. Yeah, but what do you mean butt wasn't her? What does that mean, the butt part of that? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, you mean because he went fishing, right? But you don't need to put butt. You could just say and. Butt reverses anything somebody just said. Anyway, yeah, so this is where her body was found right there. I mean, they did... You gotta go watch that documentary, though. I think it's called Killer Unknown, something like that. It's like 6 episodes, and they talk about it over and over again. Yeah, and isn't it interesting, too, that here's Arby's, and it's just a straight road right there to where she was found, almost like they're driving home. And I can't remember if she lives there or where they lived. That's a different body there. I think I missed somebody up here that donated, didn't I? Oh, thanks Allison R. and William Zimbrano. They don't bite people. And they don't really bite your clothing. You know, you get the mothball shit that you know, but it's like when they're sitting on your shirt, they're not biting your clothing. Okay. I think it's the worms or whatever when they're inside your. Ah, shit. Who cares? That's what you call a rabbit hole. Yeah, here was another Oklahoma cold case of Paula Stringer. Alright, listen to this one. A homicide victim found partially buried in a shallow grave along the Arkansas River tentatively has been identified as a teenage girl missing since last weekend. Decomposition prevented an immediate positive identification, but authorities said jewelry on the corpse found Thursday by 2 hikers led investigators to believe the body was that of Paula Lynn Stringer, 17. Miss Stringer, a Tulsan who attended school in Sand Springs, was reported missing. This is 1982. was reported missing early Saturday when she failed to return home from a football game. Deputies said a Tulsa man and his 4-year-old son found the body, its head and shoulders protruding from the sand as they walked along the north bank of the Arkansas River west of Sand Springs. Authorities said the woman was clothed only in a torn blouse and socks and had suffered a severe blow to the head. Several apparent stab wounds also were found on the corpse, which appeared to have lain in the grave since last weekend. Miss Stringer attended a Sand Springs football game Friday night and went with friends to a supermarket parking lot teenagers used as a gathering place. See, it sort of sounds similar, doesn't it? Her mother, Charlotte Stringer, reported her missing when she failed to return home by 12:30 a.m. Saturday. Police found her car in the parking lot. Her keys and purse were inside. Hikers found the body of a 17-year-old girl partially covered in a shallow grave in the bed of the Arkansas River west of Sand Springs Thursday. Yeah, I think I actually found the spot. It's right here. Right in the river, right in this location. And it was I think they had it a mile from, I don't remember if it's this one. Yeah. A mile from this road south of, can't remember how they worded it, but that's the location. Her body was found right here, sticking out of, her upper body basically was sticking out of the sand. The victim was identified as Paula Stringer of Tulsa, and she was apparently struck on the head with a blunt instrument, said Deputy Sheriff Bud Warren. He said the death was apparently a homicide. Deputy Melvin Parker said the girl apparently had been killed about a week ago. Her body, which was found near the Keystone Expressway, was sent to the state medical examiner for autopsy. And this is 5 days later. A 20-year-old Sand Springs man was charged Friday with first-degree murder in the October slaying of Paula Lynn. Actually, no, this is a month later. First-degree murder in the October slaying of Paula Lynn Stringer. Authorities said a warrant had been issued for the arrest of Brett Allen Harris in the slaying of the 17-year-old Sand Springs girl. His whereabouts are unknown, said Tulsa County Deputy Mike Beckendorf. The victim's body was discovered Sunday, partially buried in the sand bed of the Arkansas River. She had been raped, stabbed 16 times, and beaten, authorities said. Yeah, so basically, Brett Allen Harris, 20, of Sand Springs, surrendered to sheriff deputies Monday after he was charged with first-degree murder in the slaying last month of Paula Lynn Stringer. Harris was charged Friday in the slaying of the 17-year-old Sand Springs girl. The victim's body was discovered October 7th, partially buried in the sandy Arkansas riverbed. Okay, and then about 5 months later, a judge will rule April 5th on a prosecution appeal of another judge ruling that first-degree murder defendant Brett Allen Harris should go free. Harris, 20, is charged in the slaying of Sand Springs teenager. Assistant District Attorney Gary McCurdy on Friday filed an appeal of the ruling. Reef refused to order a trial for Harris, ruling there was inconsistencies in the testimony of a key prosecution witness. The appeal was made to District Judge Jay Dalton, who has 20 days to decide whether to uphold Reef's decision. So, and it sounds like this guy didn't. Death suspect ordered to trial. So, there was, I guess eventually they got him to go to trial. And then, 1980, man to face trial in slaying. Same guy. Perjury charges dropped against Tulsa trial witness. A Tulsa judge has dropped perjury charges filed against Roy Dale Sewell, accused of testifying falsely against first-degree murder defendant Brett Allen Harris. Yeah, so the guy totally lied, and that was the whole reason that he was even being charged. Lie admitted by witness. A Sand Springs man testified he helped Brett Harris bury the body of 17-year-old Paula Stringer. So you can see why they wanted to arrest him, right? Because he said he helped bury the body in the Arkansas riverbed last October. Danny Pryor, 23, testified Monday he lied about Miss Stringer's death until prosecutors threatened to charge him as an accessory to murder. Pryor is the prosecution's key witness against Harris, 21, charged with stabbing the girl on October 2nd. Her partially clad body was found October 7th after half buried in the Arkansas River. Mother left with pain and hate. So this is 1983. Buried inside a local paper a few days ago was a short 5-paragraph story noting that a Sand Springs woman had been fined $100 for hitting and kicking another woman last April. Ordinarily, a story like that wouldn't even make the paper. Assault cases are a dime a dozen, but this one was different. This was no bar fight, no contest between rivals over a man. It was sort of a mother's defense, a child already dead, desperate, if misguided attempt to control the path of justice. It was also letting go of hate, in defendant Charlotte Stringer's words, and in an ironic coincidence, the $100 sentence came almost a year to the day after the body of Charlotte Stringer's middle daughter was found stabbed and beaten to death and partially buried in the sand along the Arkansas River. When Miss Stringer confronted Sharon Scamardo on April 8th, that's a lot, in front of a beauty shop where Miss Scamardo works, 6 months had passed since Paula, 17, had died. Miss Scamardo certainly had nothing to do with Paula Stringer's death, but Miss Stringer says she felt certain Miss Scamardo knew something about rumors that a group of youth had gang raped and killed Paula. Those rumors were leading directly away from Brett Allen Harris, 21, the youth accused of killing Paula, and the young man Mrs. Stringer fervently and mistakenly, some here say believes is guilty. To a frustrated and angry mother, enough had already happened during the investigation to leave in doubt her hopes of seeing her daughter's death avenged. A series of missteps in the mishandling of evidence by investigators had not only jeopardized the pending case against Harris, but also, his lawyer points out, many have destroyed evidence that could clear him. Sand Springs police officers assigned to the case during the 5-day Paula was considered a missing person apparently made no written reports of his interviews, and he was reportedly never asked about those interviews when the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office took over the investigation. Chief Criminal Deputy Mike Buchan, I don't know if it says Dorf, acknowledged he threw away plaster casts made of tire tracks encircling the body because they lacked detail. Purportedly, similarities between those tracks and ones made by Harris's vehicle provided the basis of a warrant to search that vehicle, and yet they threw those away. Okay. See, this just sounds like one of those crazy, the prosecutor misconduct shit. Buckendorf said the girl's pubic region was intact when the decomposed, partially clad body was wrapped in a sheet for the medical examiner. However, MF Merchant said a body was totally decomposed or devoid of, I'm just trying to guess what it's saying because it's cut off, devoid of pubic hair when examined it. Let's see. The feet, which possibly contain identifying skin hairs, clothing, body secretions that could be used as evidence, had apparently been discarded. Swabs of fluid taken from the body by the medical examiner were not air-dried before being sealed in vials. A state crime bureau chemist said the samples, which could have detected sperm and matched blood type, had become contaminated by bacteria and were worthless as evidence. Clothing taken from the body was sent to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation lab, being jumbled together in a brown paper bag rather than being sealed separately. Chemist Claude Berry, this just is awful. How horrible. Let's see. The district attorney office had filed a perjury charge against Roy Sewell, chief prosecution witness, at a preliminary hearing for Harris last spring. A judge called Sewell's testimony that Harris had admitted to slaying to him and showed him the girl's body unbelievable. As frustrating as the missteps are to Miss Stringer, I'm paying for everyone else's mistakes. They are equally frustrating for Harris's parents and his lawyer, Pat Williams. The missing evidence which Mrs. Stringer is convinced would convict Harris could just as easily prove his innocence and identify someone else. I'm concerned because with a crime so heinous and such a brutal, senseless killing, somebody is going to get stuck, he said. After the spring preliminary hearing, the case against Harris was thrown out by Tulsa County Special Judge John Rafe, but prosecutors won reinstatement from District Judge Jay Dalton. See, we just went over that. Then he did go to trial, even though that first judge said forget it. The charge was then dismissed by the district attorney and then refiled, listing Daniel Pryor as the new key witness. At a preliminary hearing this summer on the new murder charge, Pryor testified he helped Harris bury the body. It is on Pryor's testimony that Miss Stringer has pinned her hopes. I can't really blow up and say what I want to about the investigation, she said last week. The district attorney is doing the best he can where everybody messed up. Mrs. Stringer's anger is palpable, and she doesn't bother to deny it. It's with my 24 hours a day. I have so much hate. It's with me 24 hours a day. I have so much hate. I don't have time to grieve. All that anger is focused mistakenly hearsay on Harris. Jesus. I hate when they write sort of flourishy like that, where it's not the way. I don't know. Let's see it like it says. All of that anger is focused mistakenly, some hearsay, on Harris. I don't want him doing the things she could be doing, like getting married. I don't want him doing the things she could be doing, like getting married and having kids, the things she wanted to do. A heart with an arrow drawn through it, and words Paula and Brett are on the cover of Paula Stringer's yearbook. His name seems scrawled everywhere. However, they weren't dating, Miss Stringer says, on her orders. But they were friends, and on the night she was killed, well, this is kind of interesting. The night that she was killed, Paula, Brett Harris, and Karen Winfield went boondocking along the river in Harris in his Toyota Land Cruiser. Not long before midnight, Harris and Paula dropped Karen off at her car. Harris said he took Paula to her car. Yeah, so he dropped the other girl off, so it's just his word. Not long before midnight, Harris and Paula dropped Karen off at her car. Harris said he then took Paula to her car at 12:15 a.m., and he told investigators she was talking to someone in a pickup truck when he saw her last. All right, Ms. Stringer says she was awake and waiting for her daughter to come home by 12:30 a.m. I've lost my faith in God completely, Ms. Stringer said. God didn't take Paula, the devil did, but he should keep me from going through this. Right now, my family is going through pure hell. A daughter still at home has had to change schools to avoid memories. Mr. and Mrs. Stringer are selling the family home for the same reason. The real hurt is missing her, and it's horrible how she died. Stabbed. He treated her like an animal. So, sounds like it could be that guy. And look at it. This is the criminal justice system criticized by grand jury. A grand jury called here to investigate the handling of a Tulsa County murder case adjourned Thursday, expressing its total dissatisfaction with certain glaring inadequacies of the criminal justice system. The panel, which did not issue any indictments or accusations, addressed a number of broad recommendations to all public servants within the criminal justice system, the patrol officer, police administrators, city councils, etc., etc. The jury recommended that the training program should be explain the delays most frequently encountered in criminal prosecutions. The panel recommended that a county inmate be required to pay for his own medical care unless that inmate's total financial resources from any sources have been exhausted. The jury also recommends new laws that allow the state to deduct housing and I don't know. Anyways, they went through the whole thing and they just thought it sucked, just like it was explained. So that's kind of weird because now those other articles were in 1983, 85, and this is the trial. The first-degree murder trial of Brett Allen Harris, 23, was expected to begin this morning, nearly 3 years after Harris was charged with the stabbing and beating death of Paula Stringer. Stringer's body was discovered in October 1982. Let's see. In hearings last week, punctuated by bitter exchanges between Williams and Dunn, Williams accused prosecutors of relying on perjured testimony to bring his client to trial. Williams sought to have the charges against his client dropped in Tulsa County, arguing Stringer's death occurred in Osage County, and the charges should therefore be filed in that county. So that was June, and then July, Harris free. A Tulsa County District Court jury deliberated until 3:40 a.m. today before finding Brett Allen Harris innocent of first-degree murder charges in the 1982 slaying of a Sand Springs teenager. Harris, 23, was accused of stabbing 17-year-old Paula Stringer, so now he can never be tried again. And all those errors they made probably are what set him free if he did indeed do it. It's possible he didn't do it. Jurors who heard testimony for 3 weeks began deliberations about 6 p.m. Wednesday after hearing instructions and closing arguments. Roy Dale Sewell, convicted of perjury for testimony he gave in a March 1983 preliminary hearing in the case, testified Harris had confessed to killing Stringer. Yeah. A 3-year-old murder case ended in acquittal Thursday, and the defendant's lawyer said he will seek an investigation of the district attorney's office. I wonder if that's what that one article was, but I misdated it or something. Let's see. I bet that's what I did. Yep, that's right. That's exactly right. This is May 3rd, 1985. But actually, that last article, though, is July 1985. So they already did that. Yeah, so the charges were originally dismissed, then refiled, and they brought him to trial with nothing. And he got off, and now there's no way to charge him again with that. And then this is a 1985 article talking about how whatever happened to the judicial philosophy that one is innocent until proven guilty. We were taught as children that everyone is innocent of a crime until enough facts are presented to prove otherwise. We are taught that it is wrong to accuse unless we are sure of what we are accusing. Right? You hear that out there, YouTubers? Okay, good. These teachings are supposed to follow up through our adult years and make us responsible and understanding adults. Why is it that so many people assume that once a person is indicted or arrested for a crime, that he or she is guilty of he or she is guilty of that crime immediately? Our neighboring city of Sand Springs has been the target of much publicity over the last 3 years thanks to Paula Stringer's murder case. Brett Allen Harris was arrested in connection with the crime, but recently was acquitted of murdering the Sand Springs teenager. One would think Harris and his family would have been able to resume their normal lifestyle after the trial. After all, the man was found innocent by a 12-person jury, which means 12 men and women listened to both sides and made an honest decision on Harris's innocence. Why can't people accept that verdict? Leave the Harris family alone and move on to trying to find out who killed Paula Stringer. Well, as we know, though, sometimes that's sort of like saying the same thing to Tot Mom, right? It's like she did kill her kid, right? Are you guys even paying attention to this? Because I'm just not one comment for the last 20 minutes is even talking about this. Okay. Brett Allen Harris, on the other hand, is alive, young and innocent of murder. Why should he continue to pay for a crime? Yeah, well, right. Okay. Anyways, I think that's it there. Let me see if when these articles are. This is a long article on, but that's her right there. Wow, that's about as small as you can get for an image. Yeah. Anyways, I'm about done tonight, so I'm gonna try to get to bed a little earlier. Those last 2 nights took some toll on me, but thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. Yeah, it doesn't quite hurt as much, but my left index finger's numb, basically. That's the part I don't like. Man, I saw Robin watching this crazy, just total drama channel earlier on the what case was that? Yeah, on the Lori Daybell case. Man, it's amazing that people were actually watching that shit. Just total waste of time. Alright, let's see. I just happened to get a notification. I definitely won't watch that again. Yeah, I mean, why you'd spend 5 seconds watching crap like that? It's embarrassing. Yeah, you should go watch that. Thanks, KNS. A little bit slower night than usual on the... Right, it's weird. Yeah, it's crazy when you watch that shit. It's like these people, they don't take any time at all putting something together, and they just ramble on about shit for hours staring at the screen, and somehow that's interesting to people. But it's sad. It's scary, though, because it is, people do like that, you know? And then you go through the person's channel, and they've covered the Watts case, and this shit recently. It's like, are you kidding me? You're still talking about Watts? Embarrassing. Yeah, I don't really want you to know who I'm talking about. That's why I'm not going to be mentioning it. It's stupid. It's just this is the picture she wants me to look at. A cat on somebody's head. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Darlene. Thank you, Audio Caspian Horses Rock. And by the way, I got on with the tech support over it on YouTube to wonder why, because I've had the problem for a long time where if I try to send a super chat and I type anything, it won't let me send it, but if I don't type anything, I can send it. So what's the deal there? It's weird. And then I know people have had that on my channel too. No, it wasn't. That's not who I was talking about. Yeah, so there'll probably never be justice in that case that we were just talking about. Because as soon as, if police believe somebody did something, they're not going to, and then the person that they believe did it got off because they sucked. There's no way in hell they're going to keep looking for another killer. They're going to put that as far back on the burner as possible. Yeah. Don't cats do that all the time? Get on somebody's head? I mean, it seems like I've seen, I thought it was going to be something really unusual. Thanks, Zozo. Ding, 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 ding. What else? Did I have something else? Oh yeah.
Lots of love, Gray and Freak's Heart.
I guess we could go over this. This is one last thing that I wanted to... Remember the Erica Lloyd? That was that weird one now, when she just disappeared.
Take care if you, and thanks for being here for us and keeping the voice of the voiceless heard.
Well, thank you. C. Dorp. Yeah, well, she was kind of... Well, maybe I'll just do this one tomorrow. She's kind of strange. I think she was into conspiracy stuff. Yeah, that's right. That's the one where her car was just found way out here in the middle of nowhere. Maybe I'll get that one going again. Look up all the information. Yeah, I'm going to go rest, I think. So, anyways, thank you guys very much. And also, let's see, what was the... Oh, thanks to Julia Nichols on PayPal there. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Skiz. Well, good. We'll check it out tomorrow then. I'll go back and get as much stuff as I can again on that one again. All right. So thank you to Michelle Nicholas, Linda Howe, Catalina Revival, Cairo. That was our bet on the Timber game. Samara S, Lisa Bevan, Sarita, Linda's House of Chill, even though I couldn't see any of her comments. Kit Kat, Monica M, Allison R, Cairo again. Kim F. Sharp Harp, Nan Sullivan, Kit Kat, Sarah Beth Colagrass, Andrea Ruggiero Drum, Patricia M, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Allison R, William Zambrano, KNS, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Zozo, C. Dorton, and Miss Giz. Thank you guys very much. And let's see. There it is. Okay. I was looking for the wrap. So anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm hoping to be able to use this neck thing a little bit less coming up here. I had the pain management people call me today, but I just said, don't worry about it. They said it lasts for like 3 months, so if I get done with the surgery and I need something, maybe. But it's just, you know, people need the pain early on when the pain is hardcore. It doesn't feel as bad now because of this blow up thing that I have on my neck. So it works pretty good. Hey, thanks, Stacy Galloway. So anyways, everybody, that is it for the show tonight. We will... Oh, and by the way, let me say thank you to all the nurses again. You know, I probably haven't said it as much, but I did send you all of the nurses that sent me, their information. I sent them mugs with the freak heart on it. They have their own little slideshow. And you guys are kicking ass. I know it's been a long slog through this COVID crap, so... All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Make sure you're washing your hands, wearing your mask when you go out in public, maintaining social distancing, and, just stay safe. Make sure you're washing your hands before you touch your face. All right, everybody. So that's it. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime detector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
Yeah, don't go to the drama channels like Robin does. She loves it over there. She was having a grand old time.
I was gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector,
And I'm always gonna be a
pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
Yeah, I really wanted the Philadelphia Union to win. What about you, John Boy?
Are you kidding me? Come on, Gray's our buddy. We root for the Portland Timbers, okay, you idiot? Why would you vote for the Philadelphia Union?
I don't know. Cairo liked him, and I thought Cairo was pretty cool.
Yeah, but what does it got to do with anything? You have to be loyal.
Oh, okay. Gosh, you're so mean, John Boy. You are the meanest person I've ever met. You are so mean. Good night, John Boy.
Wow. So you think I'm mean, man?
Yes, I sure do. Good night.
Wow. Those two, I tell you what, man, they are never gonna just have a night where it's smooth, okay? That'll be a day where hell will actually be made out of ice. Anyways, be safe out there.